Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV, and the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show is live on Monday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is October 9th, 2017, and now the news at noon. From the Durango Herald, motorists should expect delays Monday morning on U.S. Highway 550 near Red Mountain Pass as crews attempt to remove a vehicle that went several hundred feet down an embankment on Sunday. Lisa Schwantes, spokeswoman for the Colorado Department of Transportation, said crews were unable to recover the crashed vehicle on Sunday. Motorists should expect delays Monday morning, she said, but the exact time of the operation is yet unknown. The National Weather Service was predicting anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow on the northern mountain pass between 7 a.m. and noon today. Schwantes said that the highway closed around 11 a.m. Sunday and was reopened around 12:45 p.m. Colorado State Patrol Captain Adrian Driscoll said a white Mazda was traveling southbound when the driver lost control a few miles south of Ouray and went 370 feet down an embankment. It's pretty steep there, he said. I think we can all say that's an understatement. Driscoll said the driver, the only occupant, was able to self-extricate. The driver was identified as 39-year-old Matthew Pratt of Ridgeway. Pratt was airlifted to St. Mary's Medical Center in Grand Junction with serious bodily injury, Driscoll said. Route 550 is also called the $1 Million Highway and was built in the late 1880s as part of the San Juan Skyways. The road climbs up to 3 very high mountain passes, Coal Bank Pass, Mullis Pass, and finally Red Mountain Pass at 11,018 feet.
According to the Cortez Journal, 2 female inmates who were removed from their cell early Saturday morning face charges of attempting to escape from the Montezuma County Detention Center. Lacey Hankins and Whitney Williford were booked into the jail under a felony hold for attempted escape and criminal mischief for destruction of public property after an investigation concluded that they tried to cut through their cell window. A third inmate who had been moved into the cell about 1 a.m. wasn't charged. Sergeant Eris Stephanakos and Deputy Paul Meeks removed the 3 women from cell 7 after Stephanakos heard a loud scratching noise and saw a shadow of a person scratching at the lower window of cell 7 during a perimeter check at 1:30 a.m., according to an incident report from the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Jared Farnsworth and Stephanakos searched the cell after the women were removed and conducted a body search using a metal detector because a female deputy wasn't on duty. According to his report, Farnsworth found the cell window was scratched out along one side less than an inch deep. The broken off tip of a jail-issued toenail clipper, extra sheets and blankets on Hankins and Williford's beds, and 2 sets of non-issued dark blue uniforms. The inmates had been issued red uniforms. All 3 were questioned individually. A 4th inmate came forward with information about the case. According to Farnsworth, the jail witness said she discovered the blue uniforms to delivered the blue uniforms to Williford and Hankins, who then told her they needed the darker uniforms because they planned to escape that night and wanted to be less visible. According to the 3rd inmate's statement, Hankins and Williford invited her to join in the escape, but she declined. She said she witnessed Williford pushing it on the window, trying to break it. Hankins blamed Williford and the witness, but according to Farnsworth, there was no corroborating evidence to back up her story. Hankins denied any involvement in the escape attempt, saying that she only had petty charges and would go home soon. However, when Farnsworth reviewed Hankins' record, he found that she was being held on charges that included petty and felony charges.
From the Journal, the Memphis-based Southwest Farm Fresh Cooperative has been awarded a U.S. Department of Agriculture grant that its leaders hope will help it expand and become self-sustaining. Last week, the general manager, Ole Bai, announced that the co-op had received a $229,000 farmers market promotion grant. While some of the money will go towards new equipment and rent for a new warehouse, he said most of it will pay for an advertising campaign targeted to new farmers and customers. With the help of the grant, Bai said the co-op hopes to expand its small community-supported agriculture program to at least 350 customers within the next 3 years. The co-op started in 2014 with 20 farmers in Montezuma and Dolores counties. Since then, it has expanded to La Plata and Delta counties, plus one farm in Aztec, New Mexico, and serves about 64 regular customers per season. Through the CSA program, farmers sell produce, dairy products, and meat directly to consumers who become shareholders by paying a portion of each farm's operating costs in advance in exchange for weekly boxes of food. Right now, the program is a bare-bones operation, Bai said, supported by a percentage of sales and a few small grants from organizations like the Gates Family Foundation in Denver. Farm Fresh has received USDA grants before, but they were focused on infrastructure rather than expansion. The promotion grant is highly competitive, he said, because it doesn't require any matching funds and it doesn't require the recipient to keep a log of hours and money spent on their grant program. The co-op's application was unsuccessful last year, but Bai said the feedback its managers received from the USDA helped them land it this time around. They were the only organization in Colorado to receive the grant for 2017. Bai said the CSA program helps small farmers by giving them more control over how their product is distributed. Multiple producers in a co-op can also pool their resources to advertise their business more effectively than they could alone. Eventually, he hopes to bring in farmers and shareholders from all over Southwest Colorado and maybe beyond, he said. According to the 2017 Grant Award report from the USDA, Farm Fresh will also use some of the grant money to help member farms comply with the Food Safety Modernization Act.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the preliminary discussion to stop funding came as a surprise to County Ag Extension Director Tom Hooten in Montezuma County, who has held the post for the past 6 years. Hooten is an employee of Colorado State University Extension, an agricultural outreach and education program established in rural counties across the state. The extensions help run county fairs and 4-H programs, conduct scientific research, and offer technical and educational support for farmers and ranchers. The CSU-supported offices also depend on county financial support. Montezuma County budgets about $108,000 to pay for 2 full-time staff members at the Extension office, said County Administrator Melissa Bruner. One is an administrative assistant, and the other runs the 4-H Club, a popular agriculture education program. The county kicks in $13,700 toward Hooten's salary, with the majority paid for by CSU. But the commissioners said they didn't feel the local extension program has been run well, and they have been in discussions with Hooten and CSU about it. Commissioners cited complaints from the public but did not elaborate, calling it a personnel matter. Commissioners said the expectation is that ag extension programs will continue to be funded through 2017. The decision to defund the program for 2018 is preliminary, county officials added, and won't be final until the budget is approved in December.
From the Cortez Journal, the Interior Department said last Thursday it's withdrawing protections for 10 million acres of federal lands used by the threatened sage-grouse to open it up for energy development. The plan would allow mining and other development in areas where it is now prohibited in 6 western states: Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, and Wyoming. The Bureau of Land Management, an interior agency, said a recent analysis showed that mining or grazing would not pose a significant threat to the sage-grouse, a ground-dwelling chicken-sized bird that roams across vast areas of the West. The proposal would affect less than 0.1% of sage-grouse occupied range across 11 states from California to the Dakotas, officials said. The change comes as the Trump administration moves to reconsider an Obama-era plan to protect the sage-grouse. Millions of sage-grouse once roamed the West, but development, livestock raising, and an invasive grass that encourages wildfires has reduced the bird's population to fewer than 500,000, among other reasons. A proposal by the Obama administration to protect 10 million acres from development, quote, to prevent 10,000 acres from potential mineral development, was a complete overreach, said acting BLM Director Mike Ned. He and Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke pledged to work closely with states to protect the health of the sagebrush-dominated lands. Interior said Thursday it is seeking comment on plans to revise sage-grouse conservation plans across the bird's range. Quote, we can be successful in conserving greater sage-grouse habitat without stifling economic development and job growth, Ned said, adding that officials intend to protect important habitat while also being a good neighbor to states and local communities. Zinke ordered a review of the Obama plan this summer, saying he wanted to give western states greater flexibility to allow mining, logging, and other economic development where it now is prohibited. Zinke insisted that the federal government and the states can work together to protect the sage-grouse and its habitat while not slowing economic growth and job creation. Democratic Governor John Hickenlooper of Colorado and Republican Governor Matt Mead of Wyoming have said they oppose any changes to the habitat management model. Comments on the plan will be accepted through late November.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, on Saturday, dozens of 4-H families gathered at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds to celebrate their accomplishments over the past year and invite more people to join the program. For the annual 4-H Day, representatives from Montezuma County's 7 4-H clubs set up booths in the indoor arena and displayed some of their projects from this year, as well as several of the animals they raised through the program. Some of the program's leaders handed out membership information to visitors at the arena entrance, hoping to draw more families to participate next year. The Montezuma County Board of Commissioners voted earlier in the week to defund the Colorado State University Extension Office, which oversees the program, but 4-H coordinator Andrea Jader said she believes it will survive. Some of the program's leaders handed out membership information to visitors at the arena entrance, hoping to draw more families to participate next year. The Montezuma County Board of Commissioners voted. It's not certain exactly how the decision to defund the extension office will affect 4-H. Jeter said she expects some changes to the program in 2018, but she pointed out that 4-H has other sources of funding, such as the fees members pay for each project. About 200 children from Montezuma and Dolores counties, and Jeter said she expects more of them to return in 2018. For newcomers, open enrollment begins October 16th. And now, here's our weather report.
Winds today will continue to run at 15 to 20 miles per hour from the northwest, but we are expecting speeds to drop late this afternoon. Steamboat Springs, Hayden, and Meeker reported periods of heavy snow this morning, as well as some snow in Vail. By late this afternoon, the center of the system that threatened to skiff here but did not deliver will be centered over the Pagosa area. The northern and central mountains will be the focus of activity this afternoon. Accumulations in those areas are not expected to reach levels posted earlier. The San Juans will only get a light accumulation. Grand Junction and the surrounding area have a freeze watch on for tonight. Sunny skies will return tomorrow, and although things will be warmer than today, they will still be 5 to 10 degrees below normal until Wednesday. The northern part of the state will see a chance for moisture again by Saturday and Sunday. The storm center, made from leftovers from Tropical Storm Nate, now over southwest New York State and northwest Pennsylvania, will move northeast into Canada by tomorrow morning. This will result in rain with thunderstorms developing over parts of the Ohio Valley and lower Great Lakes that will move northeastward to New England by evening, then move into Canada overnight, Monday into Tuesday morning. Tropical moisture will extend from the eastern Gulf Coast northward into the mid-Atlantic. That will move off the mid-Atlantic coast overnight. Showers and thunderstorms over parts of the mid-Atlantic into the southeast, and eastern Gulf Coast will move off the northern mid-Atlantic coast by Tuesday morning. Tropical moisture will surge northward over the central and eastern Gulf Coast and the southeast into the Tennessee Valley and the southern mid-Atlantic by morning. The front will move from the middle Mississippi Valley into the Great Lakes into the northeast and merge with Nate remnants by tomorrow evening. The boundary will extend from the Ohio Valley to the mid-Atlantic by Wednesday morning. A front will move onshore over the Pacific Northwest late tonight. Then it will move inland to the northern Intermountain region and northern California by Tuesday evening. Rain will develop over parts of the northwest coast on Tuesday morning and move inland to the Cascades by Tuesday evening. Light snow will also develop over the highest elevations of the northern Cascades by tomorrow evening. Today's high will be near 48 and tomorrow 56, increasing to 65 for Wednesday and upper 60s for the rest of the work week. Winds will run less tomorrow in the 5 to 10 mile per hour range and run 5 to 15 Wednesday with gusts to 25. Our low for tonight is expected to be 30 with 56 for tomorrow night and low 40s for Wednesday and Thursday nights. Sunny and clear for the remainder of the week is expected. And now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, an attempt by the Montezuma-Cortez RE1 school district to cut $1 million from the cost of demolishing the retired high school has been rejected by the Colorado Department of Health and Environment because of required asbestos abatement, school officials said. The district had hoped to convince the health department that asbestos contained in the primer applied to cinder block walls in the 1960s could be safely mitigated through a controlled demolition, instead of a more expensive abatement process, said Jamie Hockness, school facilities manager. School officials argued that the asbestos was sealed within the paint and would not become airborne during demolition. State inspectors disagreed and ruled the material had to be removed before demolition. The Montezuma-Cortez district released the results of the state's rulings late Friday, September 29th, in a news release emailed by Susie Meyer, who was hired as a writing consultant for the district in May, Hockness said. As a result of the state health department's decision, the school district will go forward with the higher demolition estimate of up to $2.4 million, Hockness said. The district's asbestos abatement contractor, Colorado Hazard Control, was the lowest qualified bidder at $12 per square foot, Hockness said. The company will use hydroblasting or a dry ice method to remove all asbestos coating from the estimated 80,000 square feet of concrete blocks. The asbestos will then be contained and transported to an approved waste facility in Utah.
Last week's CO2 average is in at 402.97. Week before last was 402.77. 1 year ago was 400.83, and 10 years ago was 380.85. Researchers report in the October 6 Science Online edition that neonicotinoid pesticides are turning up in honey on every continent with honeybees. The first global honey survey testing for these controversial nicotine-derived pesticides shows just how widely honeybees are exposed to the chemicals. Shown to affect the health of bees and other insects, 3 out of 4 honey samples tested contained measurable levels of at least one of 5 common neonicotinoids. Study co-author Edward Mitchell, a soil biologist at the University of Neuchâtel in Switzerland, says, on the global scale, the contamination is really striking. The pesticides are used on many kinds of crops grown in different climates. Traces of the chemicals showed up even in honey from remote islands with very little agriculture. Mitchell and his team outsourced 198 honey samples from around the world. 86% of the North American samples contained at least one of the 5 commonly used neonicotinoids that the study measured. Only 7% of South American ones did. Almost half of all samples globally contain more than one type of the pesticides. Evidence that bees were often foraging in multiple sites affected by pesticides. Who'd have thought? In all the samples, the pesticide levels were below what's been established as safe for human exposure. Neonicotinoids gained popularity as pesticides in the 1990s in part because they target the central nervous system of crop-destroying insects, but don't have the same effects on humans. But the pesticides have been controversial because a number of studies have found that they can hurt pollinators as well as pests. From Science News, May 16 of 15, on page 13, this new research documents widespread exposure of honeybees to neonicotinoids at levels that have been shown to affect insect health in previous studies.
According to the Cortez Journal, Linda Towell, president of the Cortez Historic Preservation Board, has applied for a grant to preserve the historic Calkins High School building. At a meeting of the Preservation Board on Wednesday, October 4th, she presented feedback from the State Historic Fund Office on her draft application, which she submitted on behalf of the Montezuma Housing Authority this summer. The application requests a $190,000 historic preservation grant with about $60,000 in matching funds to repair the building's windows and some of its doors. Towell said most of the comments from the Historic Fund were positive, and she will find out in February whether the Housing Authority has received the grant. Terry Wheeler, Executive Director of the Housing Authority, said the grant would be a first step toward her Board of Directors' ultimate goal of transforming the building into affordable housing. In 2016, the Montezuma Cortez School District and the Housing Authority unveiled a plan to convert each of the building's 18 classrooms into an apartment which could be rented out to low-income residents. The City Council approved a conditional use permit and site plan for the project, but it was delayed after the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority turned down the developer's request for a tax credit. The building, located at 121 East 1st Street, was built as a high school in 1909 and ended up being used as an elementary and middle school and administrative offices before it was vacated in 2008. It was entered in the National Register of Historic Places in 2016.
From the Cortez Journal, a nationwide study has listed Cortez as the 10th best city in Colorado for seniors who want to exercise and socialize. Smart Asset, a data website dedicated to helping people plan for retirement and other major financial decisions, recently released its 2017 list of the best places in Colorado to retire, based on tax rates, the availability of medical care, and the number of nearby recreation and social activities. Cortez ranked 10th in the recreation category because of the number of retirement and recreation centers compared with the number of seniors in the area. It ranked at 3,172 overall in Colorado and 651 for recreation nationwide. Cortez has 0.4 retirement centers per 1,000 people, which is above the statewide average of 0.1. The study estimated 18.8% of the population is made up of retirees, which is also above average for Colorado. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, people 65 years and older and made up 13.4% of Colorado's total population in 2016. The centrally located Cortez Recreation Center also factored into the town's score, according to Smart Assets public relations intern Stephanie Siosek. While Cortez residents of all ages regularly use the recreation center, one of its most advertised services is the daily set of Silver Sneakers fitness classes for seniors. The Rec Center started the program in 2010 with about 10 participants, and Silver Sneakers certified personnel trainer Raina Howell said it has grown to 200 to 300 seniors a week, and there are additional fitness instructors. Silver Sneakers is a nationwide program offered at 13,000 locations across the country. Cortez is also home to one of the headquarters for the Montezuma County Senior Services Center, which also has locations in Dolores and Mancos. Senior Services staff provide meals to 20 to 35 people per day at the Cortez location, and volunteers deliver meals to about 40 homes per day through the Meals on Wheels program. The Cortez location also offers social activities most days of the week, including yoga classes, dances, bingo nights, and field trips to attractions all over the region. It also funds small home repair projects and basic home health care services for elderly residents through various state and federal grants. Cortez also has multiple retirement homes and a growing number of medical facilities for seniors. Construction began in July on a new memory care facility, Beehive Homes of Cortez Homestead, which owner Jan Gardner expects to finish by December. Overall, the study showed Littleton as the best place to retire in Colorado, with an average 19% annual tax rate, 9.1 doctor's offices per 1,000 people, and a 0.7 retirement centers per 1,000 people. The Smart Asset study was based primarily on information from the Census Bureau.
According to the Cortez Journal, Colorado lawmakers ended a special session of the legislature Tuesday without a fix to an intricate spending law that stripped some quasi-governmental agencies of the ability to collect sales taxes on recreational marijuana. The session, which gavelled in Monday morning and out by Tuesday afternoon, was marked by squabbling between the Republican-led Senate and the Democrat-controlled House. The rancor shouldn't have been a surprise. Republicans protested loudly when Governor John Hickenlooper first ordered a special session in September, saying they were given little notice or input, and continued blasting the Democratic governor this week for a special session they considered wasteful. Hickenlooper pointed blame at the GOP-led Senate, saying they put politics first. House Democrats said lawmakers had a duty to fix an error inserted into a negotiation spending law intended to spare rural hospitals deep budget cuts while providing $1.9 billion for transportation. In the process, the new law inadvertently removed the power of Denver's Regional Transportation District and other so-called special districts to collect standard state sales taxes on recreational marijuana. Lawmakers of both parties agreed that was unintentional, but Democrats and Republicans were split on how urgently the agencies needed that taxing authority restored and whether the legislature had the power to do it. Senate Democrats' proposed fix died on Monday in a committee, and a similar proposal approved by the same fate on Tuesday afternoon. Both chambers adjourned soon after that 3-2 party line vote in the Senate committee.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. Saturday, October 14th is the 2017 Harvest Festival and Annual Orchard Social in Dolores. It features showcases from Montezuma Orchard Restoration Project, including a hard cider tasting. It runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with live music from 12 to 3 from Tomlin Acoustic Experience, courtesy of Inner Orbit Sound System. There will be a beer and cider booth, food, crafts, and local vendors, and also free galloping goose rides. For more details online, go to DoloresChamber.com. October 13th at the Sunflower Theater in Cortez is the performance by Eli Cook. Starting at 7 p.m., it's a solo acoustic show. And don't miss the second annual pig roast at the Grange in Mancos. October 14th from 3 to 8 p.m., dinner will be served from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m., featuring a deliciously local meal, stay tuned for details, they say, local beer from Mancos Brewing Company, Dolores River Brewery, and Wild Edge Brewing Collective, and live music from Kevin Frazier and Karut Roma. Tickets are $25 each and on sale at Fahrenheit Coffee Roasters in Mancos. There's a cash bar, kids under 12 are free, and space is limited. All of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original posts and stories. To share your event or information, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon, Monday through Wednesday, and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m., and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3 and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. Again, it's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook and Jerry Tope with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.